traditional music, and I also compose. The next piece is a set of 3 pieces written by a good friend of mine named Carol Wood, and it's very beautiful. She loves Chaucer, medieval things, so she writes her music about that. So the 3 pieces I'm playing for that, I'm going to go back if you want. So the 3 pieces are, and the first one is called When I Lost I Joined. And then the next one will be, I'm learning how to do this, so hold on 1 second. So, it's alright. When I lost I joined, Reid, Randolph, and the bells were St. Bruce Peter of the bells, and St. Gertrude is the patron saint of cats. So you, and I feel like I should come a little closer to you guys because you're so far away. You're welcome to come up closer if you wish. So the next piece is a multi-movement piece, but it's been one of my favorites. The cello suite in G major, and I almost like to play it too. I just play it on the flute, just play it on the flute, play it on the bassoon and trombone, but I really like it on viola. So it has a lot of straight through all the a set because that's what I like to do. into the last 3 or 4. So, so it's wonderful, but I thank you for my CS score. There is my CS score. So what I would first like to start with is so I have this pedal board here. Here, let me show you. I'm actually very excited because I put it today for the first time. Like I have like a whole bunch of pedals, but not I'm afraid you can't see it. Like this, can you see it? Okay, all right. So it has the blue thing. The little blue thing is a delay flashback, and what it does is you play something, and then it kind of repeats it afterwards, like maybe like an 8th note, or like like a second or 2 seconds after that. And so I wrote a piece for that, and it's called Awaken. It's kind of like we're in the morning, and you're just like waiting for the sun to come up, and it's like almost like ripples, and that's what I was thinking about when I wrote this piece. So I just need to test it out. So I need to, and then the next step is I have to put this thing on, which is my DPA mic. So it's going to be a little louder, but hopefully not too much. So tell me if it's too loud. And then I am going to come bring everything back. don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how the day is going to be. And I remember I used to live in Canada, and I used to go from Hamilton, Ontario to Toronto to take the GO bus. And the GO bus would leave at like 5:30 in the morning sometimes. And so I would walk. I would actually walk downtown. It was about a 15-minute walk. And in this blue hour, you know, and just, you know, the possibilities. This piece is a little different. There's a lot of people who are what call looping violas, you know, and I like doing that too, but I tend to write more like meandering. But this piece is a loop piece in a way. It's almost like a song, a long song, has 3 verses, and I just keep looping the viola part onto it. So, I'm going to turn on my delay though, because the delay will get in the way. This is closer. Okay. I'm just going to put that a bit, just because. Do that, yes. press that button. And then the second time, we're going to press this button. Is that okay? Yeah. You can stand here. You can have a chair if you want. You want a chair? Okay, so we'll grab my wheel. Okay. So I need help because usually I have a foot pedal, but it broke. So okay. Are you ready? So we'll just do the first one. Okay. And it's like 10, like 5. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to. So we'll see the first. Actually, I got to put that. All right. I'm going to turn this on. This might be a little loud. If it's too loud, Dan, can you come up and turn it down?
It's not
Well,
too loud.
when the computer. Okay. Okay. All right. Where you go? Start on by Dave here. Okay. A major is my favorite key, and then I have a backing track to it. So it's kind of a fun backing track. So I am going to go to Logic now. Go to Ableton Live. Yes. Okay. This is called throwing caution to the wind. Has an interesting introduction. Just gonna turn this. Villalobos brothers.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay,